Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Carl, and this is a D3 recruiting case study. So this comes from one of our one-on-one coaching relationships. We cleared it with them. They said it was okay to share some of the takeaways that they learned from their process. And we're going to kind of walk you through the different steps. We'll spoil the ending here. It was a good outcome, and we'll break down where they got admitted and the financial aid package line by line, what they got, and what that means for their 4 years of college. But starting from the top, this family reached out just with an interest in college athletics, but not really an idea of how to get started. So in this video, the theme here is going to be outcome versus offers. So this is something we tried to reiterate throughout the process. Focus on the outcome, not just getting offers to play in college, but actually what the total package is going to look like. And they did a great job with this over time, but we'll show you how they really nailed it at the end and what it turned out to be for their financial aid. So getting started again, they reached out to us in their junior year of high school. This is the best time to get started. You have, your entire college application season that happens during your senior year. So your junior year really allows you to plan ahead, get to camps, get to school visits if you need, and also have some time to improve your performance on the court, field, track, whatever it is. So at the start, it was really just a big list, 25 plus schools. They had an idea, maybe they wanted to do D1, not really sure what D2 meant or really D3. So we started out by just establishing a plan of action. This was the biggest thing. Determine what level actually fit what they wanted out of the college experience. And those things, based on our conversation, were a more serious program than what they had in high school. The coach wasn't that serious, um, and they wanted to take it up a notch in terms of their athletic commitment and performance in college. But still, with that, they wanted to focus on academics. So this is not just a purely sports experience, and that was something they really said was important. And that was reflected in the fact that they had a 4.0 GPA in high school, and were really getting it done in the classroom. So the next step we started to think about it, we looked at D3 schools. Affordability was a question, as it is with a lot of families. So we started thinking about, okay, how do you plan for FAFSA? What local scholarships are out there? What is available for them in their area? Um, and so the reason FAFSA is critical is because if you're looking to go D3, even if you're looking to go D1, this is how any school will determine your need that it needs to meet with financial aid. Some schools use the CSS profile, but most are going to take FAFSA, and it is really critical if you are looking to pay less for college. So this family was subscribed to our free weekly newsletter, and they got an email about D3 schools with zero tuition programs that we wrote up. And it turned out that one school they were applying to was on the list. So here was the article. We've now posted it to our website if you want to go check it out. But we saw this news about Tufts and Emory both going to this pledge to cover 100% of tuition for families that make under a certain threshold. So in this list, you have um, a number of different schools here, D3s. Some it's 75K, 65K, which is pretty low. Berea College covers 100% of tuition for all students that get admitted. Other schools, though, MIT was 200K, so pretty generous there. Emory 200K as well. And yeah, so full list. We're always adding that. If you know another school that you don't see on there that has one of these programs, let us know and we can add it. Um, but yeah, so we were going through it, and they saw that in our email, and it turns out that their family income was under the threshold for one of the programs that they were going to apply for, which was Tufts and their Tufts tuition packs. They were under 150K. And so that was really exciting because all of a sudden this pathway towards affordability made D3 a lot more affordable than they previously thought it would be. So other D3s were in the mix as well. Coaches began suggesting early applications as a way to stand out. And we talked through on calls what this meant, helped them understand, if you're going to apply early, early decision versus early action, what the differences are, and how that could limit other options potentially. Um, they also, at this point, were getting recruited seriously by D1. So, a lot of times D1 is not attainable for a lot of athletes. For this athlete, it was. They were borderline, kind of high performance D3 versus low end D1. But here's the thing that kind of surprised them, and is something that's important. It's an important lesson for really any athlete that's on the cusp. Know that you really need to dig into the details of how you're going to afford that education if you are going to go D1. Because in their situation, one D1 school offered them 20,000 in financial aid, but very little in athletic aid. So they still had a lot to pay. Another one offered them in-state tuition. This was a state school, so it was pretty affordable, um, but not necessarily the academics that they were looking for out of the college experience. So they decide to, after visiting Tufts, felt like it was the right call, the right fit, and with the coaches helping them on a pre-read. So admissions had already taken a first pass and given a good response on their transcript and grades. They decided to apply ED, early decision, and this was a little risky because they had no word back on financial aid. But given the visit, given the being there on campus, meeting the team, meeting the coaches, kind of understanding what the situation was firsthand, they felt comfortable enough to do that. Also, with the idea that given their income, they would probably qualify for some pretty generous financial aid. Um, and then let's go to the takeaway. So one thing that we discovered throughout this process was their high school coach um, actually got fired or left. And during the whole, transition from junior to senior year, this athlete got a new coach. And it turned out that they were a former D3 athlete. So this was one thing that the athlete had not taken advantage of yet. They had not spoken to them about their experience or really been able to pick their brain just to say, hey, I'm debating doing this. What did you think? Would you do it again? What mistakes did you make? Really understanding the value of that resource to have a former college athlete in your network. And this is a lesson. I've highlighted this as a lesson because you don't necessarily have to have a coach in your circle be that for you, but find someone in your hometown, find someone in your area that played a sport, whether it's D3, D1, and just get a sense of what they thought about the college experience, because that in itself is so valuable. That'll save you a million Google searches. If you can just cut to the chase and talk to someone who's been there before, they'll be able to give you so much more. So that was something they did, and I think it really helped them. And again, we already kind of gave you the spoiler alert. They were admitted to Tufts ED. Super exciting. Definitely, takes a lot of stress out of senior year to get that early application decision. So big congrats to them. And here is what they got on financial aid. It is they were very nice and said we could break this down for you guys so that other people could learn from this and what they got. So here we go. Their financial aid breakdown, the total cost of attendance per year, including tuition, housing, food, and fees, but not books and day-to-days, was $97,140. So during this upcoming year, so first year they're going to be enrolled, Tufts offered them 70,000 in grants, 3,500 in deferred interest loans, and 2,200 in work study. So this is important to break it down here. Grants do not need to be paid back. So that is, for them, 3,500 in deferred interest loans. Loans do need to be paid back. Work study, the student athlete will work a job, maybe in the athletics department, maybe somewhere else on campus, and um, they will get that discounted off tuition once that work is done. So that left them in total responsible for $21,000 $21,240, which they'll be responsible for each year. And they also have to reapply. This is an important note. Usually some of these grants will come with, GPA thresholds that to make sure you are performing well in school to stay eligible. But yes, very important to look at that final number. They were very happy with this. Huge discount. It's less than a fourth of the quoted price, almost a fifth of the quoted price. So really great outcome there. A couple things to be clear on though, as we reach the end of this uh, case study, a couple of open questions. So anytime you get into a D3 school, you do have the opportunity to appeal the financial aid ask. And this is something that we're going to bring up with his family, but are you interested in appealing it? Is there a reason maybe you could ask for more? I think in this case, one thing that they could potentially benefit from is asking explicitly if they have coverage under the tuition pact. So if we go to the FAQs, um, here is a question: do I need to apply for the Tufts tuition pact? When we talked to them, they said they didn't ever see anything that asked them to specifically apply for it, which makes me wonder, even though they filled out FAFSA and eligibility would be determined that way, that maybe there's a chance that they could get a little more if they applied for this, but we might be splitting hairs. But just a lesson for future recruits: think about these questions. Do you need to appeal? Um, do you have offers? If you did not apply early decision, do you have offers that maybe you could compare that would help you get your aid package increased at another school? All those things are good to consider. But in this case, as I mentioned, they were pretty happy with the outcome, and yeah, admitted to a top school on their list and a great D3 school for their athletic and academic career. So we hope this is helpful. If you have any questions about this process, we can't share specifics just to protect their identity, but feel free to drop questions below and we will address those or in the comments or in a future video. And as always, let us know what types of videos you want to see next, and we will get to work on making those. So congrats to this athlete. If you do want one-on-one help, check it out on our website. We have a couple options listed there, or just reach out via email. And yep, stay tuned. We'll see you soon.